This is InsideInvestmentBanking.com, the place where you can find every secret you need to break into banking. Why do you want to do investment banking? In a sea of overachievers who are equally talented, likable, and prepared, the why investment banking interview question can be the only differentiating question left for bankers to ask, making it both a popular and decisive question. Whilst for college students who don't look like aspiring bankers on paper, i.e. no finance accounting major, business degree, or relevant work experience, it's of epic importance. After all, you guys need to be able to explain why you want to do investment banking when your past decisions don't suggest anything of the kind. How do you give a 10 out of 10 answer to the why investment banking interview question? There's a huge selection of points you could make, but keep it short and sharp. Generally, a good answer will contain 3 to 5 solid reasons why you're interested in IB. Typical examples like a world-class education, skills development, type of work, the challenge, real responsibility in billion-dollar transactions, etc. are all acceptable. But try not to trot out the same BS as everyone else. Importantly, avoid reasons that are self-centered in a bad way. Let me explain. As a banker interviewing you, I'd be okay if you mentioned investment banking attracts you because of the learning opportunities, as this is a selfish reason that also, and ironically, benefits the bank. Passionate 24-year-olds put in 100-hour work weeks with ease after all. But if I heard you wanted to do IB simply in order to build your resume and or to secure an exit opportunity, I would, in my mind at least, throw you out the frickin' door and then proceed to lay a BlackBerry beatdown on your ass. Being made to feel like a halfway house for financial vagrants, a mere stepping stone, is not my idea of good times, you see. So even though everyone knows investment banking is attractive for the resume and exit ops, don't say it. What can help you avoid a BlackBerry beatdown? Well, you would get me extremely interested if you answered the why investment banking interview question by talking about how you have older friends in banking who have, over the years, shared with you what it's really like to be a banker, both the good and the bad. And then how that's made you realize 3 specific things about banking which make it stand out above any other graduate job. Not only will I believe you still love banking despite the war stories, but that you've actually given it some thought beyond, I need a salary of blank fine proportions if I'm ever going to pay off these student debts. What I'm trying to say is that a great answer will list unique and specific reasons why investment banking, and it will connect them to the sources you learned them from, whether they be friends, professors, books, etc. Want 6 specific reasons why investment banking that are sure to work? Try talking about how you love the 1. Cornerstone role investment banks play in deals and or the role they play more broadly within the world of business. IBs are to business what the White House is to the world, central hub headquarters. That's why bankers are called masters of the universe, so bring up this point, albeit laced in more formal language and without ever mentioning masters of the universe. 2. Coalface exposure to industry and financial markets, which is unique to IB. There's not a graduate job on the planet that puts you closer to the action than banking. 3. Results-driven, deal-oriented approach. This point distinguishes banking from so many other professions like law, consulting, etc., where players often get paid for simply doing as opposed to achieving. And by specifically mentioning this point, you'll show bankers that you've got the right mentality, and that you're not an increment fiend like lawyers. P.S. Once again, be sure to phrase this in a more professional kind of way. 4. Type of people that work in banking. Talk about this from both a learning and enjoyment point of view, and most importantly, reference people you know in banking, particularly at that bank, to avoid looking like you're simply shining shoes and kissing ass. 5. Nature of the work, analyzing, problem solving, real world focused. If you're going to talk about this, then make sure you bring up a handful of examples in passing. For example, 10K analysis, spreading comps, deal structuring, etc. 6. The specific industry/product group you are interviewing with. This is a must. By talking about why IB through the lens of that specific group, you'll really narrow the reasons down to specific, tangible, relatable ones. And that means that bankers are more likely to believe you and like you. For example, if you say to TMT that you want to do investment banking because you find the business/investing side of the tech industry fascinating after working as an unpaid intern at a social media startup over the summer, then you'll hit the why investment banking question out of the park. Whatever you choose, be sure you can talk intelligently about it if probed by the bankers. If you have work experience in accounting, consulting, etc., then tell the bankers that whilst your time at KPMG or BCG or wherever you worked was a terrific experience, it didn't offer insert reasons why you love IB. This is a hidden opportunity to further explain your story, point out why you want to change into banking now, and assure them again that IB is what you truly want above all else. Any comparison you make should be delivered subtly, though. Not because your interviewer might have worked at KPMG or BCG, but simply because it looks unprofessional to blatantly badmouth others. Negativity in any form doesn't look good. P.S. For those of you who get this question in an investment banking analyst interview, i.e. not a summer internship interview, you'll need to push your story of why IB even harder to convince bankers to take you on. This is because bankers hate offering permanent spots to candidates who might quit the minute things get tough. Passion is a banker's best insurance policy against this, so make sure you show it, guys. If you want to go one step further and really impress the bankers with your answer, then tell them how you became interested in IB years ago and point to the real-life things you've since done that have confirmed your passion. Studies elected, college clubs joined, people met, friends talked to, books read, jobs taken. Showing a long and considered journey to get into investment banking is the idea here. What's the final secret to a magic answer here? Recognize the downers of banking, not just the uppers. Bankers, you see, want to hire students who aren't being drawn to banking based simply on Hollywood hype or CNBC glamour. They want to know you're realistic about the job, prepared to do grunt work, and yet still super passionate. After all, the Jimmy Cramer fan club and the Gecko wannabe students will never be able to hack it when they find out what investment banking really involves. And this dropout rate costs the bank a bomb. So, with all that in mind, during your answer, briefly mention how your friends in banking have clued you in on the realities of the job too, the long hours, sacrifice, and other downers. Of course, don't end your question on a downer, meaning be sure to follow up any reality checking with your 3 main reasons why IB, repeated in a very, very short form. Kind of like, but of course banking is an easy choice for me because of ... This has been another InsideInvestmentBanking.com presentation.